Alright, hello everyone, and in this video we're going to talk about an important concept when it comes to working with quadratics, and that is going to be finding the vertex of a quadratic or a parabola. Because remember, the graph of a quadratic is that parabola, and we'll look at that right now. So, as a reminder, this is the standard form of a quadratic. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. A is just whatever number is multiplying the x squared, b is whatever number is multiplying the x, and c is whatever number is floating around by itself. Now, when we're talking about the graph of a parabola, believe it or not, this c means very, very little. I mean, it does mean something, but as far as finding the vertex is concerned, it's not that important. So let's talk about that now. So first of all, what do these quadratics look like? Quadratics have a graph which is called a parabola. Okay, a parabola is not a line like we've seen before. It's this kind of cup shape that we're seeing here. Okay, there are two options for a parabola. It either faces up or it faces down, one or the other. Okay, so these are the two options we have for parabolas. And now when I say we're going to find the vertex, what does that mean? Well, parabolas are just a collection of points, just like lines, except they have a very specific order to them. And specifically, they have a very important, and perhaps the most important, point, and that is the vertex. And the vertex is the point at either the very top, if it's facing down, or the very bottom, if it's facing up, of the parabola. These are the vertex of the parabola, okay? These points are the vertex, V-E-R-T-E-X, the vertex. The vertex is that important point in the parabola, and we call it the important point because it's either the very bottom or the very top, and more importantly, if we draw a dotted line straight through the middle of the parabola is perfectly symmetric on either side. So when it comes to graphing parabolas, figuring out the formula for parabolas, the vertex is one of the, if not the, most important points on the curve itself. Okay, so now we need to talk about how to find it. And finding the parabola, the vertex of the parabola, is actually pretty straightforward. There are a number of ways that it can be done. You could use the vertex form, for example, but the way that I like to do it is by using this simple equation. So the vertex, we know, is given by the coordinate h comma k. H comma k. Now, h comma k is just a point. H is an x value, k is a y value. Okay, so it's just a point like no other, like every other point. It just has one specific piece of it that we need to pay attention to, and that's how we find h. Now, h is given to us by the following: negative b over 2 times a. Negative b over 2 times a is that x value of our vertex. Now, what is this negative b over 2a? Well, that just comes from the standard form. So in our standard form, a is whatever is next to the x squared, whatever number is multiplying the x squared, and b is whatever number is multiplying the x. That's what we need to plug into our equation for the vertex. Okay, so once we find h, then we can find k pretty easily. So let's take a look at an example of a parabola in which we try to find the vertex. So let's say we have the parabola y equals x squared plus 4x plus 4. Okay, so this is our quadratic, and we're going to find the vertex of this quadratic. So remember, the vertex is given to us by h comma k, where h is equal to negative b over 2 times a. Okay, and in this equation, what is b, right? So if we think about the standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c, we know that our b is 4, and we know that our a is actually this 1, right? Whenever we don't have a number shown there in front of a variable, it's just 1. So a is 1 and b is 4. So we're going to plug those into the h equation. So negative b is negative 4 over 2 times a, and a is 1, so that's 2 times 1. So we have negative 4 over 2, which is equal to negative 2. So h is negative 2. What we have so far is half of our vertex, right? The vertex is given to us by h comma k, which is negative 2 comma k. Now here's the thing. Negative 2 is just an x value. We can plug that in to get a y value, right? Whenever we plug in an x value, we get a y value. So when we plug in So we have our equation, y equals x squared plus 4x plus 4. When we plug in negative 2, what we're finding is a y value, but specifically we are finding k. So k is equal to negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2 plus 4. So when we plug in h specifically, we are getting our k value. So now let's solve for k. So k is equal to negative 2 squared is negative 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 4 times negative 2 is negative 8, plus 4. So 4 plus negative 8 is negative 4, plus another 4 is 0. So k is equal to 0. I have that my vertex has an x value of negative 2 and a y value of 0. My vertex is negative 2, 0. That is how we find the vertex of a parabola. Okay? We find the vertex by finding h and k. H we find very specifically by using this equation right here, negative b over 2a. We plug that back in to find our k value, and we're good to go. Alright folks, thanks very much. Check back in for more examples. I'll see you next time.